reason we point out how many times we've been inaccurate and how we're demonized for being accurate is so that people that are tuning in can go back and look up what we've said is going to unfold, so that in the future, when we talk about stuff, people need to listen. Now, in a world of universal deceit, telling the truth is a revolutionary act. George Orwell said that, and I agree with him. Ron Paul, playing off that quote, said, in an empire of deceit, telling the truth is treason. It's not a big deal to know you should halt flights. It's not smart to know you should send Ebola patients to level 4 government facilities they've built and spent hundreds of billions on in the last 30 years. It's not rocket science that the Army went in on the East Coast. In fact, pull that clip up, please. In 1989, when Ebola went airborne, PBS reported and cleaned it up. The CDC doesn't even do that. FEMA doesn't even do that. Headline, flashback, Ebola goes airborne, causes outbreak in medical lab. There are defaults. Like you see your neighbor's house on fire. You call 911. They dispatch the fire department to your address. It'd be like you call 911 and go, there's 20-foot flames shooting out of my neighbor's house at the corner of... Please send the fire department. Well, how bad does it look? Well, there's flame coming out the windows, and it's pretty bad. Better send a lot of fire trucks. And then you hang the phone up. Hour later, nobody comes. And the next day, you tell the media, yeah, this house burned down, and then it burned down 3 other houses, and the fire department never came. And they go, we don't do that now. And you go, but you're supposed to send a fire truck. That's what we pay for. That's the default. And they go, no, we don't, racist. You're like, but you are supposed to control the border and the airplanes, and that's what all the other African countries did and what Europe did. And shut up, racist. I'm sorry, deranged. The White House said through Media Matters, who they admittedly write the talking points and send it over to them, the White House is spending its time attacking Alex Jones and MSNBC and CBS News are. Don't you idiots love your kids too? I mean, you really are villains. I'm not deranged because I didn't want Ebola to spread, and now look, it's right here where I live. They're quarantining people right here at the University of Texas, where students yesterday, that was shot yesterday and aired on the nightly news last night, what you heard earlier. 30 students, 17 of them, well, 30 people. The only folks that said no look like professors or UT workers. And one young lady. One student, it looks like, said, no, we shouldn't bring Ebola patients here and house them in our houses and read to them and take them to sporting events. One student, and then it looks like, 12 more UT workers said, are you kidding? But the students were like, yeah, man, it's racist. Bring them in. Because you could tell them anything. Turn your guns in or you're racist. Okay, I'll turn my guns in. Open the borders up or you're racist. Support Obamacare. Well, it has death panels. It was written by insurance companies and doubles prices on average and has 21 taxes, 7 of them on poor people. And it's horrible and it's terrible and it's rationing care. Shut up, racist. See, you don't have to be an intellectual. You don't have to be smart. All you've got to do is just act official and act like you're holy and you're good because you know how to say racist. That's what this country has turned into. That's what we've become. That's what we've degenerated to. Let's go ahead and play this clip from Nova in 1990, 1 year after this happened.
In a primate quarantine unit in Reston, Virginia, monkeys in one of the holding rooms suddenly began to die. The crisis heightened as monkeys began to die in a different room. It appeared that the virus was moving through the ventilating system. In response, the military killed all 400 monkeys. This new strain of Ebola had shown the potential to spread through the air.
That's Stacy Keach narrating. And that's why, and by the way, they are selling out as I predicted they would, especially the fake blood-splattered Ebola T-shirts that have now come in. We'll show folks a document cam shot of that. Radio listeners can go to InfoWarsStore.com and wear these proudly. It's the word Ebola with the Obama symbol of the rising sun of death and evil rising over the planet Earth. And it has fake blood splatters on it. And on the back, it says Ebola. So on the back, it says Ebola. And on the front, it says Ebola. And that one is selling out very quickly. The other one will sell out as well, but not at the same rate. And it's in the made-in-1776.com area, made in America. We have all the Molon Labe men and women's shirts, and all of the belt buckles have sold out, except the George Washington ones. I would have thought, I designed all these, that the George Washington ones would be the most popular. They haven't sold out in 6 months, but the Molon Labe belt buckles have sold out. So that's InfoWarsStore.com, made-in-1776.com. We did get in a few thousand bottles more of the Silver Bullet, 30 parts per million colloidal silver, the InfoWarsLife.com brand of it, and it is about 80% sold out, so I really shouldn't even plug it. It'll probably sell out in the next hour or two. InfoWarsLife.com. A lot of other folks have doubled or tripled their prices of colloidal silver. It's selling out everywhere. We are holding the price. We are holding the price, though it's costing us more to manufacture now. We have a large amount in transit that's being manufactured right now at a major U.S. laboratory, and it should be here in 2 weeks. But we have this in stock now. InfoWars Life Silver Bullet, 30 parts per million colloidal silver. And we have the Survival Shield Super Nascent Iodine from a deep earth crystal source, the strongest, purest form out there, not from Pacific seaweed. We have the original Survival Shield as well. That's a lot weaker, more palatable for children. You will, at least everybody I know, will detox within 2 weeks on this, and you will feel it. And then after that, it's like a fog clears for me and everybody else I know that's taking it. I mean, this is not a game. There's a reason they keep lowering the allowance of iodine. That's even the type that isn't even that good in iodine. The reason they don't want you knowing about it literally, but the elites are obsessed with it. We had one of the biggest makers of women's, well, they also make everybody's products, but one of the most famous product producers, very well known, contact where we get it from and then contact us wanting to buy us out. But for hair care products, our source and our contract for the source. And then we said, well, no, we don't want to do that. And so they just kind of disappeared, and I'm sure they're trying to find another source of it. But this is a big deal is what I'm getting at. It's a big deal because nobody's gone out and done this. And this is the type of stuff we're researching, really revolutionary type products. So Survival Shield, Nascent Iodine X2, and original Survival Shield, available at InfoWarsLife.com or 888-253-3139. Also, what I'm doing to bolster my body's natural defenses is 70%, they debate, some say higher, of the autoimmune system is in the gut. A lot of it's in the skin, the mucous membrane as well, of the sinuses, but it's the gut is the big line of defense there and the big buffer. And the intestines get all clogged up. Everybody knows that with all the gluten and the rest of it. The Oxy tablets from Global Healing Center, discounted at InfoWarsLife.com. Well, everybody I know that takes it. In fact, I don't want to put somebody on the spot, but somebody was just telling me yesterday how amazing it's been for him, who I think's out there running the board. I can't see through the window. The lights are so bright. Do you want to talk about what it's done for you?
Yeah, absolutely.
This is CJ. CJ, you heard me talk about it? They tried to get me to take it for a year. I just said, oxygen that time releases in your intestines? I don't think so. And I'd done other stuff to clean me out before that was pretty harsh and didn't feel well. I had no discomfort. Amazing what happens with it. What happened with you?
I don't really have much cramping or intestinal pain anymore and feel a lot lighter and healthier and don't have the urge to go to the bathroom because it does what it says. Without getting into details, it's just been a happier life altogether, just not having intestinal problems.
By the way, if you just try it, folks, you'll be sold. I know that. If you'll just get a bottle of Oxy powder. Because I remember years ago being in a major Hollywood star's house in one of their guest bathrooms and seeing it and reading it and thinking, man, that's weird. And I didn't know that group that had famous Hollywood stars, you can look it up, like 6-7 years ago, talk about how'd you get so skinny for this role? And they said Oxy powder. He's got it, trademarked, proprietary. It time releases in the intestines. And I'm just going to leave it at that. Dramatic. And that's another thing I'm doing to bolster my body's natural defenses. Oxy powder, InfoWarsLife.com or 888-253-3139.
I did wear a pair of pants yesterday that I haven't worn in about 2 months. Yeah,
well,
they didn't fit.
Absolutely. I mean, it's not just fat on the outside, folks. The reason your gut's sticking out in a lot of cases is that, like John Wayne, they said, had 27 pounds of undigested meat in him. And I've talked to medical doctors that have done autopsies on people, and they say it's unbelievable. I mean, our guts are just clogged up from this unnatural diet. And oxygen, put it to you this way, there's nothing like it. And I'm going to stop talking about it. If you'll just get a bottle of Oxy powder, it supports the broadcast, the reporters, the team, everything we're doing here trying to expand at the InfoWars operation. And it is revolutionary what it's done for me and my family and others that are taking it. And again, I don't know. I've never been a big vitamin guy. I've never been a big flush my gut type guy. They kept pestering me, almost henpecking me, Dr. Group and Anthony, going, look, if you'll just take this, if you'll just take this, if you'll just carry this. And Anthony doesn't even, own it or anything. He's just saying you got to take it. He takes it about once a week. And take it before you go to bed is the best thing. And then get ready to get up about 6 a.m. It's just that the elites all know about this kind of stuff. It's so revolutionary. All right, I'm done talking about it. InfoWarsLife.com. Now, I want to have totally open phones in the second and third hour today, and I want to go to your phone calls. In fact, we'll go to them in the next segment. On Ebola, here's AP. Africa stems Ebola via border closings. Health officials battling the Ebola outbreak that have killed more than 4,500 people in West Africa have managed to limit its spread on the continent to 5 countries, and 2 of them appear to have snuffed out the disease. And it says the countries bordering the areas have completely closed their borders and don't allow flights in. Because that's common sense, though. Countries run by African dictators do common sense type stuff. And they did things in Sierra Leone and others that have now stopped the expansion of the spread in those countries. They just said, you know what? Nobody come out of your house for 3 days. Go get whatever you need today, starting this weekend, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Nobody comes out of your house unless you're somebody running a power plant. And you know what? People did it because they don't want to die. And it stopped. Not here, baby. They're going to wait till it's really spreading so government can then say stay in your house and train us to sit like a dog. When they say jump, we say how high. I'm going to say it again. The flights are coming in right now, 150 people a day. The Border Patrol estimates hundreds a day. Other than Mexican, as they're called on the fill-out sheet, from West Africa. They are pouring across. And just one of them could cause a chain reaction of Ebola. And hey, maybe you want your little kid to get it and bleed out a horrible death, screaming and begging. I know this. I've had enough. And I guarantee you, government, you out-of-control criminals, you are going to be held responsible. And the big corporations that sit overseas in Luxembourg and Monte Carlo and in Switzerland and in Grand Cayman, while you sit out, by the way, all those Caribbean countries aren't letting West Africans fly in. While you all sit there safe in your tax-free havens, cops are going to be dying. FBI agents are going to be dying. Their kids are going to be dying. How are you going to feel about that, government employees? And these big corporate heads that pull the strings in one North American Union. And they said they'd bring in the North American Union, not allowing a domestic response, but a North American Union response. They said they would use plagues, terrorism, and drugs in the Banff Canada documents from 2007 that are in my film, Endgame Blueprint for Global Enslavement. They use the crises to bring in the control. 800-259-9231. First-time callers or medical workers, police, EMTs, you are the people that are really going to be in the hot zone. In the jails, at the hospitals, having to respond to people that have got to be quarantined, who are going to... You get the short end of the stick. You get the shortest straw. Shortest straw has been pulled for you. And now Obama wants to send the National Guard, totally untrained, into Liberia. Those are the places to, quote, help contain it. And I understand the military, they have teams that are trained for this, and we've got inept bureaucracies at every other level. But no, you seal the borders, you quarantine the people that have it, like they've done, and we stay out of it. But see, there's hundreds of billions of dollars to be made fighting this for select corporations that'll get the contracts for all the medicine and all the garbage, because they're not giving them blood transfusions from Ebola survivors or taking that and making a serum. No, they're giving them experimental drugs and vaccines so they can say, oh, it's safe and effective, and then lie and roll it out here. Hey, let me ask you that, America. Are you going to take the vaccine? 800-259-9231. And we'll also talk about, I want to hear from callers, not just Ebola and your take on that and where all this is going and how do we hold these criminals accountable, and can we make a big enough stink out of this to let the establishment know they're going to end up getting in trouble so they might back off on letting this spread. And why are they so arrogant? I don't think they're going to get away with this. It's not just ineptitude. I want your take on that, but what are we being distracted from? What else is going on while we're busy watching the big bloody Ebola or Obola? MSNBC said I better not use that term, so I better use it. Obola, 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 Obola. I got free speech, you authoritarian dirtbags. There's two different versions of it. There's a long version, about 6.5 minutes, a little bit shorter one that's about 5 minutes long, with Joe Biggs down at UT yesterday. Liberals signed petition to bring Ebola patients into the U.S. and house them. Students show enthusiastic support for the Ebola Equality Act of 2014. Yeah, they say you're homophobic if you don't go out and try to catch HIV. By the way, I'm not joking. In San Francisco, New York, for 20 years, they're called bug chasers. Gift givers, gift receivers. And I'm just waiting for the new trend to prove you're not racist, because it is sexually transmitted. It lives in the testicles for 70 days, not just 21, like in the rest of the body. So prove you're not racist. I think Rachel Maddow and others should go to Africa, and she should marry an Ebola victim, and, she should contract Ebola. I mean, to prove that we should leave the border open. I mean, come on, you want my kids to get it, Rachel. And Geraldo Rivera, I mean, I'm bad. Matt Drudge is bad that we said we should control the flights and the border. So come on, Geraldo. Marry a woman who has Ebola right now. Prove you're not racist. And prove you're not homophobic. Go out and, inject yourself with HIV. I'm not joking. Come on, you want me to have Ebola? You want me to have AIDS? You go get it. Not even kidding with you absurdist nuts. Come on, Geraldo, come back on the show and defend yourself or say you're wrong. Let's go to Will in Ohio. Will, thanks for calling in on this Friday edition. I guess I'm a little extreme. Do you pledge to find the nearest Ebola person and suck their blood? Yeah, you got a little phone problem there. Talk right in your phone.
Okay, how's that?
Go ahead, sir.
Okay, I was at the doctor this morning. We had a little conversation about that Ebola business. First of all, there's only 4 hospitals in this country that can handle that level of infectious viruses.
Well, I think the answer is let people fly in by the hundreds a day from countries that have it, and let Nigerians die on the plane vomiting everywhere yesterday, and everything's fine. I think that's the answer, don't you?
But, according to that nurse, we're talking about that nurse, supposedly touched her face with that contaminated glove, And he said, now, what happened? He said they didn't have any hazmat suits for him. So they just put him in like a containment gown, and they taped it to their neck with surgical tape.
Yes.
And when that stuff comes off, it takes skin with it. And if you got the littlest pimple, scratch, cut, you're wide open, brother.
Sir, why are you racist?
Why? I don't know. I guess I just raised that way.
Do you want to apologize to Rachel Maddow and Geraldo Rivera and Al Sharpton and pledge that you will try to contract Ebola to prove you're not racist?
Well, first I want to see them go down there and marry someone I'd give them the Hollywood suite there in Vegas, give it to them, all expenses paid for a week, then we'll talk about it.
Well, they're all for being able to marry however you want. So how about the entire staff of MSNBC and Geraldo get together and all marry one Ebola patient?
Share it? Yeah, that'd be a good
They
idea.
can even shoot a video and sell tickets on pay-per-view.
Well, I want to see it on YouTube. I can't afford no tickets.
I'm joking, man. I'm not, though. They'll probably actually come up with that.
But he said, as far as containing it down there, you said you ain't going to contain it down there. They reuse their needles and stuff down there. You
Well,
ain't going to contain nothing down there.
well, sir, you just we need to bring the Ebola patients here to prove we're not racist. That's what the UT students actually say, and I agree with them. Of course, you know that they'll be the first ones that if you actually brought someone with Ebola, they would run screaming the other direction. Well, we're into hour number 2. Ebola is spreading nicely across the United States. The border's still completely wide open, and they're issuing visas as fast as they can to anyone vomiting at U.S. embassies to come here. The AP reports Africa stems Ebola via border closings. That's how they've stopped it spreading to other countries, but that's not how we do it here now. We're taking your phone calls. We'll go through the latest breaking news in the next segment, but let's go to Faith in California. Faith, you're on the air. Thanks for holding.
Yeah, hey. Hey, I had a new idea for a new T-shirt.
I have a new idea that Buddy Holly didn't really die on that plane crash that Waylon Jennings, got off the plane. So he was sick or whatever. Actually, he got a facelift and is now Rachel Maddow. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was thinking we should do a takeoff and have it say Ebola care with blood spatters on it, a big pill that says Ebola.
That's a great idea. I think I've actually seen some posters like that shows like Obama in a mask, and it says Ebola care or Obola care. That's a fabulous idea.
Yeah, maybe an airplane, going across. The on the back of the T-shirt or something with, this is, Ebola care.
Let me ask you a question. Did you hear that audio or see the video we played earlier of UT students? 17 out of 30 wanting to bring people with Ebola to the U.S. and wanting to bring them to their homes?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I think they should take them, too. I think we should hold them to it. That's a documented signature.
Well, they're not actually going to do that. They all just want free handouts and stuff. They've shown in statistics fake environmentalists are 6 times more likely in a Canadian university study to steal and lie. See, it's all about how they're good. It's like people that spread stuff on Facebook and Twitter about give to a cause. They're something like 10 times more likely not to actually give. You understand? And liberals, on average, are many times more likely not to give than conservatives. And I mean real conservatives, not fake ones. But that's okay, because, they want us all to die. They just think it won't affect them. Maybe when some of them die from Ebola, it won't be so funny anymore, huh?
Yeah. I think they've got a real problem on their hands. I don't think they really know what they're doing.
No, I don't think they know what they're doing either. Great to hear from you, ma'am. Another extremist calling in. Geraldo Rivera will probably call her racist. Haley in Washington, because she doesn't want Ebola, doesn't want to die a horrible death of vomit and blood spewing everywhere. It's total racism. I don't want my kids to get it and die. I'm racist. I'm here in Texas with the Ebola spreading. I'm just a bad person. Haley in Washington, you're on the air with a racist. Go ahead.
Hi, Alex. This is Haley. Thanks for taking my call. I want to hear your thoughts on the new Ebola czar that was nominated last night. And
yeah, I see that. Well, Obama will save us now with the new czar. After letting it spread and turning off the default procedures to not let it spread, he's now going to have a big Ebola czar to save us. And I just think it's a total gimmick and disgusting and shows how staged all this is.
Well, the way I see it is if you hire a secretary and she's not doing her job, you don't hire another secretary, keep the other secretary on, and then keep paying her and then hire a new one.
Sure. But don't worry about that, because this new Ebola czar has no health care management, no health care background. So Obama is now batting 1,000 when it comes to doing the worst thing he could. So isn't that great? He hired somebody to run this that literally knows nothing about it. That makes sense.
Well, yeah, I looked him up, and he's just another Harvard Law Review guy, and was the one that signed off on the support for the loan for Solyndra, which is now a defunct corporation.
Yeah, they want to reduce world population. Yeah, it works for Holdren. or John P. Holdren, Mr. Kill Everybody. And of course, he also worked for Al Gore. So you're absolutely right. Globalist social engineers are not just targeting us with propaganda. They are manipulating our genetics. We are being targeted at every level by estrogen mimickers that lower our testosterone and other hormones and natural compounds that the body needs. After consulting top doctors, nutritionists, pharmacists, and others, we have developed what I believe is the ultimate non-GMO organic super male vitality formula sourced from powerful organic herbs and then concentrated for maximum potency. Super Male Vitality was developed to activate your body's own natural processes instead of using synthetic chemicals. Super Male Vitality by InfoWars Life is so powerful that I only take half the recommended dose. For a limited time, we are offering 15% off Super Male Vitality at InfoWarsLife.com to introduce you to this powerful supplement. Visit InfoWarsLife.com today to secure your Super Male Vitality. InfoWarsLife.com.